Hello everyone! Welcome to an exciting Coco Show Plays. Tonight, we'll be looking at the hilarious 1983 action game Outhouse on the Tandy TRS-80 Color Computer. This is a wacky game to say the least. A game that was originally written on the Model 1/3 TRS-80s and authored by a fellow named J. Weaver Jr. The Coco version was also ported over by Mr. Weaver along with Larry Ashman. These facts are all widely available over at jcurtisboyle.com for all your Coco gaming needs and a good for the show. So, for those of you not in the know, what is an outhouse? An outhouse is simply an outdoor toilet that has no plumbing. So, it basically is a little house built around a small toilet, and under the toilet is a big hole. The rest, I'll leave to your imagination. Here in West Virginia, at one time, these were quite common, and I have known many people that actually owned outhouses, didn't have any indoor toilets, and even a few that had an outhouse sort of built onto their regular house, which is not that good, frankly. But in this game, you are sort of protecting the outhouse. I looked up the documentation on this, and according to the documentation, what's going down isn't as important as what's coming out in this hilarious arcade game for the Radio Shack Color Computer by Computer Shack. As the outhouse attendant, you must keep the facility safe from harm. Is nothing sacred? Thieves are making off with the toilet paper supply, stringing it out the door and across the field. As your ship hovers above, you must pick off the scoundrels, being careful not to fire into the fragile toilet paper. There's even trouble from above. The skies are filled with enemy ships just waiting for the chance to wipe you out. Pardon the pun. Horrible. This is definitely one of the wackiest and most original games to hit the market in a long time. If you haven't played the Color Outhouse, color version by John Weaver, then you haven't lived. And this is for a minimum of 32K. So quite a wacky game. So let's get this thing started here. And by the way, tonight I'll be playing with the 500 XJ Epic Stick. One of my personal favorites for my collection. You got that right where we're using the stick. So, let's take a look at the scoring on this game. What you've got here is you've got your toilet, your outhouse, if you will, right there in the middle of the screen. And your job is to keep it from being burgled, effectively. And you can see right there, you've got your thief, the squatter. The squatter just wants to use it. The thief actually wants to steal from you. Then you've also got those zappers that go up and down the side of the screen to try to shoot you. Let's give this a whirl. Go with one player. And here we go. Now, you control a UFO. And your job is to pick these guys off before they can use your outhouse. Such is the importance of this outhouse that its integrity must be maintained at all times. And that means literally killing hundreds of people. If you must, as well as threats from above. Every time you do this, you will receive a bonus for the amount of toilet paper you've got. Now, this game ramps up pretty slowly. These zappers here, though, can be a real trifle. You don't want to let those live too long. It always amused me that a UFO was used in the task of protecting an outhouse, but it is what it is. I do like the fact that they've included the backwards crescent moon, which is a staple of any good outhouse. If you ever watch the Beverly Hillbillies or any sort of hillbilly shows, there's always that. Just like the Triple X on the moonshine, you got to have that too. The hillbilly stereotypes are alive and well. It's funny, and I often talk to my buddy about the way people from the mountains are perceived, and it's funny, they are one class of people that are still perpetually beaten down, and no one's jumping to their aid. Poor mountain folk, we never catch a break. But we do have shoes. We do have indoor plumbing now, thankfully. So, it's not as bad as you might have heard. These zappers here will nail you good and quick. Now, one thing I haven't touched on is your ability to have a super zapper. The super zapper can be used if you hit one of your number buttons, and I just use one there just for educational purposes. That wipes out everything on the screen. this game can get frantic in a hurry. And so you don't want to go crazy on those. They're handy to have. Like, you've got a lot of stuff on the screen right now, but it's still not too bad. And these little sparkles, they just basically effectively annoy you. But they can be, they get in your way if you're trying to get out of the way of a zapper or trying to get in a position to blow somebody up. I should mention how the shooting in this game works. You literally maneuver your craft in the position where you pull a direction and hit the button, and then that's how it works. Really, what this would really you could really use a 2 joystick, sort of a Robotron setup on this, and have one way to move and one way to shoot. I always thought that'd be kind of a neat way to do it. If somebody could put that functionality in, that'd be pretty awesome. So now it's getting hectic here. Now we've got a lot of action. Okay, we almost got a guy in. See, when those things are getting ready to shoot, you can see they turn kind of red. I'm having a pretty good game here. There's a guy trying to steal my toilet paper. I nailed him pretty quick. So right now we're gonna... There we go. We'll take care of that with the zapper. I believe you can earn new zappers. I'm not exactly sure what you have to get one. So we're in pretty good shape now. Moving along. This is a great high score game to play. In fact, we played this at the Taze Valley Computer Club just a couple weeks ago. If any of you guys are into my sister show, ARG Presents, like that guy actually used the toilet. Disgusting. We covered this game on the, and believe it or not, it was on the Dick Smith System 80, which is a clone of the, basically it's a clone of the Atari computers, or excuse me, the TRS-80 Model 1s, or Model 3s, somewhere in that area. And boy, I have to say, that episode opened my eyes to a lot of things. I never considered the Model 1 and 3 to be what I would call good gaming machines. Incorrect. That is an incorrect statement. We had so much fun. I played a game called Convoy, and Brent picked this. And it's funny, I had played this on the Coco before I played it on the Dick Smith System 80. And I've got to say, I actually prefer the Dick. They're pretty much exactly the same, but I think I prefer the Dick Smith just because the graphics are so clean. It runs great, and I mean, this is a very good rendition. Don't get me wrong. Die, but the original TRS-80s really did a good job with this, and I think that's straight up to just clever programming, and it's a solid game. And don't get me wrong, the Coco version also plays great, but I really did enjoy the Dick Smith version. I like killing these guys after they use your toilet. At least they didn't. At least when they die happy, I guess. I think we're about done here. This game really requires you to have a really good stick that will let you hit the diagonals. Now, again, one thing to consider is most of the Coco games were designed with the Black Beauties in mind, which are the straight-up analog joysticks for the Coco that Tandy put out. And I am using an Atari stick. Oh, here we go. Here comes this thing. Well, goodbye. Oh, I'm out of smart bombs. Dadgummit. So we are getting up to the nitty-gritty now. Got to take that thing out. Just got to take my toilet paper. Die. Another guy. This is where it gets... Right here is where you really want to save your... Oh, and there it was. A pretty good run, though, I have to say. And I have qualified for the Outhouse Hall of Fame. And what a Hall of Fame to be. What an honor that it is to be in the Outhouse Hall of Fame. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that quick look at Outhouse. A tremendous game, again, by Jay Weaver Jr. and Larry Ashman. This is a perennial favorite of mine. I've always loved it. I've never seen it in the wild. I know it was released on cassette and on disc. I've never come across one, but I'd love to find one. So, until the next Coco show plays, please check out the Coco Show. We are on Anchor.fm, or we can be located with any good podcatcher. We can also our videos can also be seen on our the Amigos Retro Gaming channel of YouTube. We'd love to have you come in, get active, join up with us. We have a Discord, we have a Patreon, and we would love to hear from you. Thank you very much. Until next time, adios.